You're on Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. If you love classic rock and roll, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you want to see this episode unedited, uncut, VIP, all access backstage pass in Patreon, you can find those links down below. And tonight's guest, formerly of Journey, Steve Augeri. Augeri is here. Augeri. He's here. He'll help me. He'll help me pronounce his name. But wait, he has new music. 7 Ways Till Sunday. Links are down below. Steve Augeri's official webpage. Go on there, check it out, and he'll be going on the road with Bret Michaels. That's right, Bret Michaels of Poison, Night Ranger. Kids, don't touch that dial. It all starts now. 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? You ready?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be, man.
All right, you are the real Steve Augeri. Is that how I'm saying it?
And you are the true Stefan.
Stefan, but my last name, everybody says it wrong, but I don't care. People call me Steven.
Yeah, well, wait a minute now. ADIKA? Is it ADIKA?
Wow, you're good.
No, because
you should do your.
My name is pronounced incorrectly constantly, so I just anything. Just go, whatever comes out of their mouth. If it's directed towards me, it's okay. The Italians say Augeri, and that sounds really great. But how many times do I come across a true Italian? It's been decades. So Augeri. Mr. Augeri. Can I get you a drink, Mr. Augeri? Would you like anything else, Mr. Augeri?
It's great, Steve Augeri.
Can I get the door for you, Mr. Augeri?
You want to know something, Steve? It's funny because we both, Stefan, ADIKA, Steve Augeri, S.A. We'd be great. We'd be a great couple together. If we're both from Brooklyn.
Now, Esteban, that sounds good.
That sounds good. My dad was from Israel. So when I was a little kid, my mom named me Stefan after my grandfather, but my dad was adamant. We're going to name him after a mountain in Israel. And he wanted to call me Marone. And my mom says, "What are you, crazy? The kids in school call him moron." So, right.
They tend to say Maron, which means Madonna. But in Brooklynese, you say Maron, like in Forget About It in Donnie Brasco.
But that's what made that expression, because nobody really said that much around my neighborhood. It was more Donnie Brasco became really trending out that. Forget about it.
Donnie Brasco has a special place in my heart because my dad looked like Al Pacino's character in the 70s. My dad wore that hat. He wore the jacket. He looked like him visually, his face. So when I see that movie, I'm just Johnny Depp. Those two actors in that movie are great. I grew up in the 70s. And 60s, late 60s and 70s in that culture, to be honest with you, in Bensonhurst.
It was so cool.
It was what it was. It was cool. It was that was my world. Sure. Yeah. I mean, it didn't suck. I mean, I don't have any regrets. No, it gave me all the ingredients as to who I am today. It's part of my growing up. And, I'd be a different person if I had not grown up in that neighborhood.
No, absolutely.
Such as yourself, like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you played. So you ended up, because I'm seeing here, and I remember the band Taiketo, because they were a Lamore's band back then.
That's correct. That's correct. And I'll tell you what. So my early band, my first band on Epic Records was Tolstoy's. And they were a wonderful band. We had a really good record, and we had a good shot. We went on tour with Mr. Big. During the time when they achieved a #1 song in America, which was "To Be With You." And however, music changed. We got dropped by the label. It was harder to be getting looked at because music was changing. It had changed. And so we're hanging by a thread. Tolstoy's is together. And I received a phone call from Brooke St. James. And I wrote a record with them in a week in New Jersey, the Jersey Shore. All you guys that have a good laugh on the Jersey Shore, and Snooki and this one and that one, the other one. It really does exist. And they had a wonderful, maybe just a couple of blocks from the beach, they had a band house. And what good times we had. writing a record in a week. And that was a breath of fresh air, breath of sunshine, being with these guys, great personalities. I don't know if you've ever met them, but just it was like going to Coney Island. It was like somebody locked you in your basement all your life, and all of a sudden someone took you on the Cyclone, and they took you on the Wonder Wheel, and they took you for popcorn and cotton candy and Nathan's hot dog. All of a sudden, life. It was like from black and white to Technicolor. So they were a joy to work with. They were a great band.
That time, 90, 91, everything was changing.
Yeah.
Around, you know, and the music it changed. So
it evolved.
So with Tall Stories, you guys put out 2 records? Did you do?
We did one official record, and then when I was released by Journey, I got back with the guys, and we finished some songs that we had written. We were writing for our second album that never came to fruition. So we finished up, which were essentially demos, but we thought were strong songs. So we finished up some of the music, and we brought in a handful of ringer drummers, because at the time, Tama DeFaria was unavailable, or we weren't able to contact him, one thing or another. A great drummer, or Tall Stories drummer. And we got a handful of really fantastic drummers. Bobby Rondinelli from Long Island.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick myself in the ass because I can't remember my friend here. Rodney Howard. Rodney Howard, do you know him from Avril Lavigne?
Yeah, I know of him. I don't know him in person, but yeah.
Yeah, and Near Z. Near Z. Z stands for a last name you can't possibly pronounce. You could probably pronounce it.
No, trust me.
Near was no less a drummer for Genesis when Phil Collins stepped aside one record. And they called this cat to play drums. So we put this record back together, released it, and it was a bunch of a hodgepodge of all this kind of different things that we were working on. And we released it ourselves. Well, did we release it ourselves? No, we did it with Frontiers. I'm not even sure at this point.
At that point.
It's long time.
Yeah. So take me. So you're doing Tall Stories, right? And then how did you get the gig now with Journey? How did that all segue?
So Tall Stories, I want to say, we were give or take a year. We pulled the plug in 95-ish, 94, 95. We had our last tour out, and we had a week of shows in Paris, France. So it was a nice way to see the band out. Then I got that phone call. I told you I worked with Ty Kettle for this one record, released this one record, and that was great fun. It was a great experience, and it was a great stepping stone for what was coming, because the Ty Kettle record was a lesson in that we changed the sound of the band, because it was never supposed to be a Ty Kettle record. We just did a record that came naturally and just flowed out of us. At the last minute, the record company got cold feet and said, "Listen, fellas, we're not going to release the record unless you go under the name Ty Kettle," which I understand. However, it really did the fans a disservice, because they're expecting the same sound, and it was far from it. They were more of a melodic rock band, and the record I did with them was more along the lines of, had a little more R&B influence, a little more Americana, a little bit more Black Crowes-ish, So we pissed off the fans, and that remained with me, because later on, when I got the opportunity to sing with Journey, I said, I'm not going to go down that road again. I have to be faithful to the sound, to the legacy sound of the band, as well as the fans are going to expect a certain sound and a certain attitude. And that was, Ty Kettle was extremely important. That lesson, that mistake, that misstep that I made with them, I was not going to repeat with Journey.
Yeah. Yeah. So now when you're getting the offer with Journey, did you know the guys before? They just happened to hear you?
No, heavens no. The closest I ever got to Neal and John was, we were playing, what was the name of the band? The nightclub was called Danceteria, or here's a Peppermint Lounge.
The Peppermint Lounge, yeah.
Was it on 5th or Broadway or something like downtown,
I believe,
below 14th?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're playing there, and there was a buzz around the club that Neal Schon and Jonathan Cain were in the house. So they must have done a show probably at the Garden or the Unormo Dome, right? And they came down, slumming downtown. They came downtown to have a few drinks, and they were buzzing around. And I remember that was the buzz around the club. So didn't meet them, but we were in the same zip code.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then, no, I did not know them. But we spoke earlier about Dice. And Dice had a band that would warm up with Dice Clay, would warm up before he'd go out in his big concerts, his big arena tours. So my good friend Joe Cefalo, who is an astounding guitar player, befriended Neal. He moved from Brooklyn and he went out to, on the witness protection plan, he moved out to Marin County and befriended Neal Schon. And the next thing you know, I received a phone call from Neal, and then from John, or vice versa. I can't remember who called me first, but they both called me back to back. And then I received a third phone call from Joe Cefalo, my buddy from Brooklyn, telling me that I thought I thought somebody was pulling a prank on me. I thought they were full of BS, and I thought somebody was trying to, prank me. And it was, so Joe called me and he said, sit down, because this conversation and your life as you know it is going to be altered, and it's going to change.
So Joe was a part of this connection.
He was,
in a crazy way.
Yeah, it is always who you know. You must be prepared. You have to have the goods. But you can never get through that final door until you know somebody,
Now, before you got on here, I was listening to it. I love the song 7 Ways Till Sun. I think it's a great song. I like it. I love your voice. It's classic rock. I'm not saying it because Steve is here, everybody, but if you go on the links, you could order it. I'll put a highlight in there, hyperlink for you, but that's what the album, what he's holding up. You can't see it because of the screen, but that's a nice picture of it. Look how professional. And he's holding it right there. And also for you guys out there.
I never had a chance to do that. That's my record, everybody.
That's the link. You could go to his webpage right there, www.steveaugeri.com. You could go there, check it out. Go buy the CD, Amazon Digital, iTunes.
Look at
Digital.
you. Look at you. Look at that. That's like the Allied Chemical Building.
It's, where
they dropped the ball on New Year's Eve.
That's what I do. It's like, or you could see what it's like Wall Street. The ticker through, the ticker right there. But yeah, great record. And you did some co-writing with the guys from Journey as well.
Correct.
It's funny. Were those songs, were they old songs you had that you
wrote? Yeah, the two that I did with one with Neal, Desert Moon, and one with Jonathan, Never Far From Home, were from my time. Yeah. Not to say they were outtakes. They were just songs that I wrote with them. I don't think they even got close to a record. But, of course, they were close to my heart, and I thought they were worthy of finishing. And I think they're certainly two of the stronger songs, but I'm proud of each and every song that's on there.